The crew of the starship Endeavor cruised through the vast expanse of space on what was supposed to be a routine exploration mission. Captain Alex Mercer sat in the command chair, eyes scanning the console screens. "Anything on the scanners, Lieutenant?" he asked, turning to his second-in-command, Lieutenant Maya Carson. "Nothing yet, Captain," Maya replied, her fingers dancing across the control panel. "It's all quiet out here. Too quiet, if you ask me." "Stay alert," Alex said, leaning back. "Space has a way of surprising us." Just as he said that, the ship's sensors blared to life. "Captain, picking up something unusual," Maya reported. "It looks like a derelict ship." "Bring it up on the main screen," Alex ordered. The image of a massive, battered ship filled the screen. It was unlike any design they'd seen before, with twisted metal and strange symbols etched into its hull. "Looks like it's been through hell," Alex muttered. "Should we investigate?" asked Ensign Raj Patel from the navigation console. Alex nodded. "Absolutely. This could be our first contact with an alien civilization. Approach with caution and prepare an away team." Minutes later, Alex, Maya, and a small team suited up and boarded a shuttle towards the derelict ship. The interior was dark and eerie, with signs of a fierce battle. "Stay sharp," Alex whispered as they moved through the corridors. They found the ship's control room, where a holographic message was playing on a loop. It depicted an alien creature, tall and imposing, speaking in a language they couldn't understand. Dr. Emily Chang, the team's linguist, worked quickly to translate. "It's a warning," she said, her voice trembling. "They're warning us about something called the Zalvarians. It says they destroy any civilization they encounter." A cold chill ran down Alex's spine. "We need to get this back to Earth," he said. As they made their way back to the shuttle, the ship suddenly shook. "Captain, we've got company!" Maya shouted, pointing to the viewport. Alien scouts swarmed around the derelict ship, their weapons lighting up the dark void of space. "Move! Move! Move!" Alex commanded as they sprinted back to the shuttle. They managed to launch just as the alien ships opened fire. "Hang on!" Raj yelled from the pilot's seat, maneuvering through the onslaught. The Endeavor provided cover fire, allowing the shuttle to dock safely. "Get us out of here now!" Alex barked as soon as they were aboard. The Endeavor jumped to warp speed, leaving the chaos behind. Alex took a deep breath and looked at his team. "We have to warn Earth," he said. "This changes everything." Back on Earth, the crew's discovery sent shockwaves through the United Earth Council. Alex stood before the council, detailing their encounter and the alien warning. "If we don't act now, we could be next," he concluded, his voice firm. The council chamber erupted in debate, but Alex knew there was no time to waste. He had seen the enemy, and he knew humanity had to be ready. The stars held both wonder and danger, and the fight for survival had only just begun. Back on Earth, Captain Alex Mercer stood in the grand hall of the United Earth Council, his voice echoing through the chamber. "We have to act now," he urged, presenting the data and recordings from the alien ship. "The Zalvarians are a threat to all of humanity. If we don't unite and prepare, we stand no chance." The council members, representing Earth's various nations and factions, argued and debated. Some were skeptical, others fearful, but the evidence was undeniable. After hours of heated discussion, the council reached a reluctant agreement to form a united defense force. In the following days, Alex worked tirelessly to recruit the best minds and soldiers for the mission. First on his list was Dr. Maria Sanchez, a leading xenobiologist. He found her in her lab, surrounded by strange specimens from across the galaxy. "Maria, I need you," Alex said, his tone urgent. "We've encountered an alien species unlike anything we've seen. Your expertise is crucial." Maria looked up from her work, curiosity and concern mingling in her eyes. "Tell me more," she said, already packing her equipment. Next, Alex tracked down Lieutenant Jake Harper, a renowned fighter pilot known for his daring maneuvers. Jake was in the middle of a training exercise when Alex approached him. "Captain Mercer," Jake said with a grin, wiping sweat from his brow. "What brings you here?" "A new mission," Alex replied, handing him a data pad with the information about the Zalvarians. "We need the best, and that's you." Jake's grin faded as he read. "Count me in," he said, his voice steady. "Let's give them hell." Finally, Alex sought out Ambassador Li Wei, a seasoned diplomat with a reputation for handling the toughest negotiations. He found her in a high-stakes meeting with foreign dignitaries. "Ambassador Li, I apologize for the interruption," Alex said, waiting for her to acknowledge him. Li Wei glanced at him, then excused herself from the meeting. "This better be important, Captain," she said, her expression stern. "It is," Alex assured her, explaining the situation. "We need someone who can navigate the political landscape and help keep our alliances strong." Li Wei nodded thoughtfully. "I understand. I'll do whatever it takes." With his team assembled, Alex turned his attention to preparing Earth's first interstellar defense fleet. The newly formed United Earth Defense Force, or UEDF, began rigorous training and development, blending the latest technology with innovative strategies. In a fortified space station orbiting Earth, the team gathered for their first briefing. Alex stood before a holographic display of the Zalvarian ships. "Our mission is to defend Earth and, if possible, strike back at the Zalvarians," he said. "We need to be ready for anything." Dr. Maria Sanchez analyzed the biological data. "Their physiology suggests certain vulnerabilities," she said, highlighting weak points. "We can exploit these in battle." Lieutenant Jake Harper reviewed the combat simulations. "Our best bet is to hit fast and hard," he said, pointing out potential attack patterns. "We need to outmaneuver them." Ambassador Li Wei focused on building alliances. "We must secure support from other human colonies and alien allies," she emphasized. "Unity is our strength." The team worked around the clock, each member bringing their unique skills to the table. As the fleet neared completion, tensions ran high, but so did the sense of camaraderie and purpose. One evening, Alex and his core team gathered in the command center, looking out at the stars. "We've come a long way," Alex said quietly, "but this is just the beginning." "We'll be ready, Captain," Jake replied, his eyes gleaming with determination. "Whatever comes, we'll face it together." With the fleet prepared and the team united, they were ready to take the fight to the Zalvarians. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, but Alex knew they were as ready as they could be. The battle for survival was about to begin. The newly formed United Earth Defense Force launched its first mission, a reconnaissance and rescue operation on the edge of Zalvarian territory. Captain Alex Mercer stood on the bridge of the flagship Valor, surrounded by his team. "Remember, our primary objective is to gather intelligence and rescue any survivors," Alex said, his voice steady. "Stay sharp and watch each other's backs." The fleet jumped to hyperspace, emerging near a devastated human colony. The scene was grim: destroyed buildings, scattered debris, and no signs of life. Lieutenant Jake Harper led the fighter squadrons, providing cover as the rescue shuttles descended. "All units, stay alert," Jake ordered, scanning the area for threats. "This place is a graveyard." Dr. Maria Sanchez monitored the environmental data, searching for any signs of life. "I'm picking up faint biosignatures," she reported. "There are survivors down there." The rescue teams moved swiftly, extracting wounded colonists from the rubble. Among the survivors was a young woman who clutched a tattered journal. "They came out of nowhere," she whispered, her eyes wide with fear. "We didn't stand a chance." As they continued their search, an alarm blared on the Valor. "Captain, we've got incoming," Maya Carson reported. "Zalvarian ships closing fast." "All hands to battle stations," Alex commanded. "Jake, keep them off us while we finish the rescue." Jake's squadron engaged the Zalvarian fighters in a fierce dogfight. "We've got this," he radioed, weaving through the enemy fire. "Just get those people out of there." Back on the ground, Alex and Maria led the last group of survivors to the shuttle. As they prepared to lift off, they encountered a lone Zalvarian soldier, heavily injured and unarmed. He raised his hands in surrender, speaking in a halting, unfamiliar language. Maria stepped forward, her translator device humming. "He says his name is Thalor," she translated, "and he wants to help us." Alex hesitated, eyeing the alien warily. "We can't trust him," he said, "but we can't leave him here either." They brought Thalor aboard the shuttle, keeping him under close guard. Once back on the Valor, he was placed in a secure holding cell. As the fleet jumped to safety, Alex convened a meeting with his core team. "Why would a Zalvarian defect?" Jake asked, skepticism in his voice. "Desperation, maybe," Maria suggested, "or something worse." Ambassador Li Wei looked thoughtful. We need to find out what he knows. He could provide valuable intelligence. They decided to interrogate Thalor, with Maria and Li Wei taking the lead. Thalor, though wary, began to share information about the Zalvarian hierarchy and tactics. "They are not invincible," he said through the translator. "There are weaknesses you can exploit." As days passed, Thalor's insights proved invaluable. He revealed the Zalvarian command structure and the location of a key supply depot. Armed with this new information, the UEDF planned their next move. In the war room, Alex outlined the mission. "We strike their supply lines and disrupt their operations," he said. "This will give us a much-needed advantage." The fleet launched the attack, catching the Zalvarians off guard. The battle was intense, with heavy casualties on both sides. But the human forces, using Thalor's intelligence, managed to cripple the enemy's supply chain. After the battle, Alex and his team regrouped. "We made a dent," Jake said, his face smudged with soot and sweat. "But there's still a long way to go." Thalor approached them, his expression solemn. "Your bravery is commendable," he said, "but the Zalvarians will not stop. They will come for you with everything they have." Alex nodded, appreciating the alien's candor. "Then we'll be ready," he replied. "Together, we'll find a way to stop them." The success of the mission bolstered the UEDF's morale and solidified the alliance with Thalor. As they prepared for the next phase of the war, Alex knew they had gained more than just a strategic victory. They had found hope in the unlikeliest of places. The United Earth Defense Force had gathered every resource, every piece of intelligence, and every ounce of resolve for what was to be their most daring operation yet: a direct assault on the Zalvarian stronghold. Captain Alex Mercer stood before his assembled team, a mix of seasoned veterans and fresh recruits, all ready to fight for humanity's future. "Today we take the fight to them," Alex declared, his voice firm. "We strike at their heart and show them that humanity will not be conquered." Dr. Maria Sanchez, Lieutenant Jake Harper, Ambassador Li Wei, and Thalor stood beside him, each playing a crucial role in the upcoming battle. Thalor had provided detailed maps of the Zalvarian base, highlighting critical targets. As the fleet approached the Zalvarian stronghold, the tension on the bridge was palpable. "All units, prepare for engagement," Alex commanded. "This is it. We fight for Earth and for every life they've taken." The battle commenced with an intense exchange of fire. Jake led the fighter squadrons, weaving through enemy formations and drawing their fire. "Keep them off the cruisers," he shouted. "We need to give the ground teams a chance to land." Maria and a team of engineers worked frantically to keep the shields up and weapon systems online. "We've got to hold the line," she muttered, her fingers flying over the controls. "Just a little longer." Ambassador Li Wei coordinated with Allied forces, ensuring that reinforcements arrived precisely when needed. "We're not alone in this fight," she reminded everyone over the comms. "Remember that." On the ground, Alex led a strike team through the fortified corridors of the Zalvarian base. Thalor was at his side, guiding them past traps and ambushes. "The command center is just ahead," Thalor said, his voice steady despite the chaos. They breached the command center, facing fierce resistance from Zalvarian soldiers. The firefight was brutal, with casualties mounting on both sides. Alex fought with a determined ferocity, knowing that the outcome of this battle could determine the fate of humanity. "Captain, we need to take out their command node," Thalor shouted, pointing to a heavily guarded control panel. "It's their nerve center." Alex nodded, rallying his team. "Cover me," he ordered, charging towards the node. Bullets and energy blasts whizzed past him as he reached the panel and planted an explosive charge. "Get clear!" he yelled, diving for cover just as the charge detonated, sending a shockwave through the base. The Zalvarian defenses faltered, their coordination shattered. "Now's our chance!" Jake's voice crackled over the comms. "Hit them with everything we've got!" The UEDF forces unleashed a final, devastating assault, overwhelming the Zalvarian fleet and ground troops. The stronghold began to collapse, flames and debris filling the air. "We did it," Maria said, her voice tinged with disbelief and relief. "They're retreating!" Back on the Valor, Alex and his team watched as the remnants of the Zalvarian fleet fled into the void. "This isn't the end," Thalor warned. "They will regroup, but you've shown them that humanity will not fall easily." Alex nodded, feeling a mixture of exhaustion and triumph. "We'll be ready for whatever comes next," he said, looking at his team. "We stood together and proved that we can fight and win." In the aftermath of the battle, the UEDF began the long process of rebuilding and fortifying their defenses. Earth and its allies were united as never before, driven by the knowledge that the fight for survival was ongoing. As Alex looked out at the stars from the Bridge of the Valor, he felt a renewed sense of hope. "This is just the beginning," he murmured to himself. "From Earth to the stars, we'll keep fighting, together."